All right, having a little fun here. Getting my Leslie going here. I'm using a Boss MD200 for the Leslie effect. On my new record, Blues Pathway, I play a couple tunes with the Leslie. I used a Benson Leslie speaker. I borrowed that from my good friend Josh Smith. And I really, really like the Leslie sound, you know, on some things every once in a while. A nice Leslie sound, you know, is fantastic. And I really took the inspiration from that from, you know, the record Hoodoo Man Blues by Junior Wells, with the great Buddy Guy playing guitar on it, playing through the Leslie or whatever it was that he was using. But it's that kind of coursing Leslie speaker kind of sound, you know, rotary speaker sound that I really like. And, you know, just sometimes to add a little color, you know, a nice Leslie speaker is really cool. And a lot of other people have used the Leslie speaker too, you know, like George Harrison or Jesse Ed Davis used the Leslie speaker amongst other people, you know, Pink Floyd, David Gilmour, you know, amongst a lot of other people. Jimmy Vaughn had the Leslie speaker in the T-Birds, you know. It's a really cool sound. So that, you know, I feature two songs. The song called Fat and Frost for Snakes. I do kind of a Jesse Ed Davis guitar part on that song, and as well as Rather Fight Than Switch, I have a Leslie guitar part on that too as well. So it's a lot of fun to play with that. You know, another thing that I kind of wanted to talk about today was, you know, like, you hear a lot of times people say, you know, it's all been done before. Somebody's done it all. You know, it's all been played. Has all the music been played? Has everything already been done in some way, shape, form, or fashion? And even me, you know, I said B.B. King has done so much for blues guitar and the different styles, and it's a big part of my style, as well as many other people. And so many people, Jimi Hendrix and all of these innovative people and things like that. You know, I, in some ways, agree with that. In some ways, I disagree with that. Has it all been played before? The thing is, maybe the notes have, and maybe you're influenced by all these different people, but we, as people, individuals, can bring our own, you know, take on these different things that we learn from. That's what all the masters did. They heard things like B.B. King or Jimi Hendrix, so they were a musical sponge of things that they heard in life, and all different kind of things developed their playing and, you know, made it what it is, you know. So I really feel that I may not play anything, original that hasn't been played before, but I think I definitely have my own spin on it as well as other people. I have their own spin, their own take, and that's the thing that makes it fresh. There's not too many people that have had, the church, Pentecostal, Church of God in Christ background, played blues, quartet music, funk, gospel, all of those different things, and then went through a whole period of backing up harmonica players and playing West Coast traditional blues as well as Chicago blues. That's my own personal take on the music, and a lot of years of doing it and trying to hone my craft, so I feel that, it hasn't been all done before because I have to still develop and evolve. I can't just say, oh, well, Albert King was the greatest. He was the greatest. But, Kirk Fletcher has to have his own stamp on the music too. I have to write songs, I have to create, and I have to be in 2020, And I really feel I've stressed this a lot during this pandemic and everything that's going on at this time, that the time is now to really think about 2020. I mean, you won't find another person that loves history, that loves the music that came before me. And that's always going to be the biggest part of my whole thing is, paying homage to the people that I love and I respect and I care about. But to keep this legacy of this great blues music alive, we really have to try and put our stamp on it, meaning we have to draw from all of those beautiful examples of music that we had before, but it's also, we got to do now. Kirk Fletcher's got to make his stamp to go along with the legacy of everybody else. And my personal legacy is combining all of these things the way I choose to do it. You know what I mean? So, what's good for somebody else might not be good for Kirk Fletcher because Kirk Fletcher is an individual. And I think all of us should sort of start thinking like this, and not just say, well, this was good for that person, so I should do it too. No, we have to make our own personal mark. We have to be really in depth into the music that came before us for blues speaking, I'm talking. And also at the same time, thinking about now and thinking about, different paths that we can take besides what people do, create our own mark, because I feel that people were very innovative a long time ago, like Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton, all these different people. They were very innovative. They took from the past and things like that, but they made it now. They were thinking about the 60s or whatever, or 70s or whenever this fantastic music was created, or 50s or 40s or whatever, and they were thinking about, like when Muddy Waters came to Chicago, it was a lot different, but he carried a lot of that beautiful, rich Delta music with him, and that just gave it depth, So that's all I'm trying to do is like have the depth and the beauty of my forefathers, Albert King, Bobby Bland, B.B. King, Freddie King, whoever, have that same depth and know the history of the blues, but still bring it to where younger people can be into it and things like that. And I think simplicity and being direct and having taste and really being in something can be a way to really get that across, Study your heroes and everything like that, but we're also in 2020. So definitely think about those two things and how can you marry the history with 2020? There's a lot of my young friends out here doing it, so I'm really happy about that. So everybody, take care, and